Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back here for another one. This is going to be part 5 out of the 8-part installment. Um, part 5. Part 5 is going to be about movies, alright? We're all here in quarantine, so, even if you're not a big movie person, you probably became a little bit more of one as the months have gone by. I know I work out and I do a bunch of stuff when I'm in the house and I clean, but still, no matter how much I'm physically active and hopping around, there's still my screen time is way up. I'm watching a whole lot of stuff and it's crazy. Not just movies or TV shows or anything like that. Just a whole plethora of things. Okay, so I'm gonna get into this. I'll get into the technicality real quick with movies. So my senior year in high school, I took film class. I felt as though I did real good, but I don't know. The grade in the M wasn't that great, but I thought I did great as far as studying and learning about film and media, dating back to early 1900s, 1920s, 1930s, and stuff like that, and just to see how it evolved over time. One thing I picked up on is the way people were dressing back then versus how they dressed in the 60s versus how they dress now, etc. Obviously, we have acquired better equipment. We've gotten better over time. Evolution is inevitable. So, I don't know. I feel like we studied film in depth. So what we would do quite often is we would put on a movie and maybe every 10 to 15 minutes he'd pause it and we'd go over it and talk about certain parts, thematic, whatever, elements throughout the whole entire thing. You're looking to read between the lines, not like not like that or anything, but like to look deep into the movie, there could be something in the picture itself that is like lighting can be depict a picture in a certain way to bring about a sense of like loneliness, gloominess, darkness, something coming in, or to signify light. You know what I mean? So they're going to use that contrast. And we would analyze these and we would talk about them. And it made you think more, like when I was done with the class for the next couple of years, like when I watch movies, I would always talk about, oh, did you happen to notice this part or something? I looked at movies differently when I watched them. And it kind of faded away because I didn't continuously pursue film and media courses, but it kind of stuck with me for a while, and I can still look back to it now and then. So with cameras and everything, when recording, it comes down to a couple of important things: angles, lightings, scripts, things like that. So angles, there's high angle shots, low angles. They might come down, pointing this way, aiming down at somebody from up above. They might do the low angle shot, which is the inverted version of that. And then there's such things known as crane shots. It's crazy because I had to learn so much in such a little time, in such a little time frame, rather. But I don't know. I think it was very interesting, nonetheless. Lighting has like I just mentioned previously, it has a huge part to do with film. It can, predict what's going to happen next, like in horror films and stuff. It can kind of give you an idea of if a scary part's coming up or not, or if you see somebody turning from the light to the darkness, and then you can tell that the characters, this is the pivotal point in the movie, in the script, when he starts to go down the wrong path. Okay, so you'll be able to pick up on things like that, even just from doing that for like a semester. So good versus evil with the light to dark shading. We also a movie would not be a movie without a script. Okay, so a script is just an overview of the movie. A lot of times it's going to say it said Josh and Mike or something like that. It would say Josh ... and then it would say what I'm going to say, then Mike. So it's going to be long. It's going to be real lengthy, It involves mostly the dialogue and the plot. Okay, the ending, the conclusion, the climax is what I was looking at, when it goes up to the peak before boom. Okay? So dramatic irony is something. That dramatic irony is when we, the viewers, know something that the character or whoever it's happening to or it's about to happen to doesn't. So they have no idea they could be walking into the lion's den or something, or about to have to fight like 8 people off. But we would see it coming in the movie, and it gets people, like they say, dramatic, because it raises sometimes it raises people's like blood pressure when you're watching a movie for the first time, and you're like, oh my god, don't go in there, blah blah blah. Why do they do that? And that's dramatic irony, you know. Analyzing certain parts and various interpretations of such movies helped me to just gain a better insight on film and production quality as a whole. Also, another thing, I talked about music because I'm big into music. I love it. Music's a big part in film too. You know, just like lighting is used to bring about a certain mood, or even to kind of let the audience slash viewers, let them kind of get an idea as to what's about to happen. I'd say music is used just as good, if not, it could be even more interpretive, because you will get things like that. You will get dark, spooky, low baritone type stuff in scary movies, or they might put it together and make a good ending. Like, say it's a happy ending at the end, you know, it'll be all bright and happy, or just something to ride out to. You know, if people are like driving and they're about to do a bank heist or something, maybe they'll play some music to amp people up. You know, get the pump, and I don't know. So that's just what I went through in high school and stuff like that, learning about it, and it was very interesting. On to the next part, shall we? I'd say even the act of going to the movies is exciting, you know? Going to the movies with a friend or a girlfriend, or going to the drive-ins. I used to go to the drive-ins a lot when I was a teenager. It was so fun. You could go there. You used to be able to save money, and now they kind of jacked up the prices and stuff. But you would go there to save money, and you go there to have fun and actually be able to sit outside your car and listen, or sit inside your car. Bring your significant other with you, and it's great. But it's been years since that. I live a lonely life now. No, just kidding, but kind of seriously, guys, a little bit. Yeah. All right, moving on. So, different categories about movies and such, okay? My favorite would be comedy, or maybe my favorite's actually a mixture, because you're going to hear me talk about mixtures in this as well. So, comedy, you know, it's just, there's always, any type of that, there's always going to be a plot, usually, and a story behind stuff. It's not just going to be aimless, because that's how movies are brought to fruition, okay? Nobody wants to see an hour and a half to 4 hours of nonsense, of whatever, gobbledygook, okay? So, comedy's great. What I can think of is, I think of the 3 Friday movies: Friday, Next Friday, Friday After Next. I think about all types of things. Pineapple Express, and one of my favorites was Get 'Em to the Greek, because at that time in my life I could relate to so much. Like, the guy was a hot mess. He loved music, but he was losing his way to drugs and stuff like that. And it's just, not only could I relate, but it's hilarious. It was a great comedy. There were so many parts. It just made me die laughing. But also, then there's the flip side. There's horror or scary movies. I prefer suspense type movies over just basic horror. You know, I like something that keeps me on the edge of my seat, guessing, being like, oh no, not this. Stuff like that keeps me more involved in the movie, and a lot of other movies won't do that for me. Like, even action movies, like, I'll lay back and watch it, and I know there's exciting parts, but it doesn't really get me the same way. And speak of the devil, action. Number 3, action movies, you know? Thrilling, high amount of fighting scenes typically, shootouts. It's just, overall, everything's kind of fast-paced. Let's think. Romance. Oh, hello. So, romance movies. Yeah, you can laugh at me if you want, but I kind of like some romance movies, you know? I mean, obviously, the only time I watched them a lot is when I was in a relationship and the girls would put them on, but I kind of liked it because I could look back at that moment and think of that movie, or when I see that movie, it brings me back to a certain part in time, maybe a past, you know. I'm not stuck up on anything, but, like, you can look back to the past about something that maybe made you happy in the time, and you can relate to that. I think that's great. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And just like how I talked about music can bring you back to a certain point point. Maybe when you hear a song, it brings you back to when it first came out, and then you can remember certain things about the day you first heard it, the weather, or who you were with. It's crazy, like it really is, man. And so I'm gonna talk about how they tend to mix up genres as well in movies, just like music. Not a lot of people are just strictly hip hop or rap or rock. They tend to mix it up, just like mixed martial arts. Okay, you don't want to just come into there with a recipe that consists of one item. You want to mix it up. You want to diversify it, and that way you can get your own unique sound, or in this sense, your own unique picture. Okay, picture. So, one of the most common ones you'll hear of or that you've seen is rom-coms. It stands for romantic comedy. Ding, 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 you got it. So, yeah, rom-coms kind of make me laugh. Obviously there's comedy in them. But they're also kind of cheesy, corny, but like cute at the same time. You know what I mean? The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock is like, there's certain things that have comedies, like with a romantic ending. Like, that's good, man. I don't hate on it. I try not to hate on anything. If there's something I'm not passionate about or adamant about, then I just either won't talk about it, or if I do, I'll just, maybe try to bring the good out that I see in it, even if it's just a little bit, But I'm never the guy to just lay out there and put negative stuff out in the world. I wasn't as aware of that when I was younger, and as I've gotten older, as I've gone through crazy things, I've become a better person, and I still work on it every day. It's not like nothing's gonna be perfect, but try to become a better version of yourself every day, and I don't have to force it. I don't have to literally be trying so hard and be like, oh, because I'm going to get myself stressed out. You're not going to see like these insane results overnight for anything, you got to stay at it. It's consistency. But anyways, I'm getting off the track. So, let me think. So, rom-coms, romantic comedies, then there's action comedies, All About the Benjamins. I loved All About the Benjamins. I thought they were brilliant together. Ice Cube and Mike Epps. Oh my god, it's hilarious. So, a weird combination that I can kind of think of. I haven't seen movies about it, but this is mainly why I want to bring it up right now. Would be a horror / romance, and they do exist because I went ahead and Googled it. I wanted to have a couple of examples for you guys. So, there's one called Burying the Ex, then there's The Hunger, and then there's Worn Bodies. All of them seem really just violate, dude. I'm all set. Like, the weird names, dude. Probably not gonna watch them either, but just figured I would say it. Okay, so we went over all that stuff. We went over different types of movies and how they break it up in categories and such. Alright, I'm back. So, film is a type of art, much like music, painting, sculpting, karate, anything like that, And any type of art, the way I view it, is super creative. That's the whole reason why it's called art, man. Because not only can it be interpreted by the viewers in various ways, but maybe everybody's idea, if you were to write down everybody's interpretation of something that came out, chances are, some of them are right on with what the artist was looking for. But the crazy thing is, I bet you there's some things out there that even if everybody took a guess and you wrote down millions of guesses, there's still some things out there that probably meant something completely different than what everybody guessed, and that's the crazy thing about any type of art. It's very creative and it's rather subjective to the audience and whatnot. There's many meanings behind certain scenes that remain open to interpretation. So at the end of movies, at the end of books, at the end of songs, that's what I mean by art, because you can interpret it in your own meaning, or just maybe it's a few. Maybe you yourself can say, okay, maybe it was A, B, or C. Maybe you can find 2 or 3 different things that you can already see, and that's just from one one person's point of view. So if you think, dude, like over the course of whatever a movie hits, like, dude, movies are crazy. They hit different countries and stuff, like Academy Award winning things, 5 stars, whatever you want to call it, dude. But what it does is it's just so powerful and it moves people. So it's ultimately composed from a series of subsets within itself. Movies are composed of not just one element, like I said earlier, but I don't mean just different genres or anything like that. I mean it's broken down pretty basic for you, but it's it's basic when you break it down, but then in each one of those subsets contain like other breakdowns too. So it's actually a very elaborate and it's a very detailed and precise procedure when creating a professional film. Even indie films, dude. I've seen some indie films and I know people are gonna laugh and rag on them, but based on what they have, their budget that they can spend and stuff, I give them nothing but the utmost respect, okay? Because, yeah, maybe if they were working with some big money, then they could make something comparable, maybe something even better. But to see what some people pull off, even with limited funds, like, that's great. That shows the creative side. That shows, yeah, it goes over some people's heads, and I just want to say it doesn't go over my head. I acknowledge anybody's artistic ability and drive to do so. It takes a lot of courage to do anything like that. To put yourself out there, man, it takes a lot of courage, let me tell you. So what I mean by breaking it down, though, is I mean, like, there's audio, video, scenery, props come into play when you're dealing with movies. There's different characters that are going to be the characters within each person are going to continue to unfold as the story continues and as the movie progresses. Okay, so they have to get all that stuff down. Like I said, the script is pretty much the most important part. Without a script, there is no movie, or you're just shooting aimlessness for 2 hours like I do. Yeah. But, and there's always going to be a plot or a narrative behind it. It takes, different levels of people. So producers, executive producers, assistants, actors, actresses, and they need to be able to tap in at willpower to be able to show emotional responses to certain dramatic events, to be able to cry on the spot, but make it really look like you're crying about what is going on, too. It doesn't just look like you're forcing tears to come out. When people do a natural scene that goes over so well, it moves me. It moves people. It moves the world. Okay? So I just wanted to talk about that. I know I listed a couple of movies, but there's countless, So if you can think of anything, or any other combinations like rom-coms and stuff like that, please leave it in the comments down below. And I'll be sure to respond. I'm just starting this channel, so I'm doing this 8-part series entitled Common Interest, just talking about things that I love or that I'm passionate about, and things that other people can relate to as well. Then we're going to move on into a different type of approach, okay? My channel is going to be diversified. It's going to be different. I'm not going to stick to one thing. I'm going to shape and mold to fit my environment, okay? But I'm going to remain true to me. You're never going to see me come on here with extremely high energy, and if so, watch out, because I'm probably high again. But just kidding. But seriously, like, this is just me nowadays. I'm not going to put on this front. I'm not going to put out this fake energy. I'm just going to be me. I'm not going to get as many subscribers because of that, but the subscribers who I will gain will be real ones, okay? So I'd rather have it that way for now, okay? If you liked it, if you liked the video, be sure to let me know by clicking the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications. I post about once a week on average, sometimes twice, sometimes once every 10 days. It all depends, okay? But I just wanted to wish you guys a happy quarantine, as messed up as that sounds. Just stay safe for me, okay? Just honestly, stay safe, and I don't know, like, I know it's hard during this quarantine to push through and everything like that, but just think we could have it so much worse, okay? And I'm not even going to get into the nitty gritty and the politics of it or where I stand because that just sparks wars. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to say, everybody, please stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly. I am out. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.